Hello everybody, welcome to Justin Plays The Lord of the Rings, the living card game, all by himself. We're doing a bunch of solo runs because I recently was sorting through all my cards and I thought, you know what, I miss this game and I want to try every scenario that I have solo with different heroes, different decks, just to see how it is. So I'm going to do these in a very similar way where I'm going to do the deck tech, which you see right now, followed by gameplay, which hopefully is not filled with too many errors because it's been a while, but knowing me and because I have to talk and stream and record and make sure everything's working at the same time, I'm gonna mess up. But let's not worry about that till it comes to it. And let's talk about my deck for this first scenario of Into the Pit. This is the first of the Dwarf cycle, or the deluxe box, and then the cycle comes after. I don't even remember what it's called, maybe Mines of Moria? It's been so long. But in this one, I have my heroes are going to be Dane Ironfoot, Bifur the Dwarf, and Dwalin the Dwarf. So I'm going for Dwarf Tribal because they work well underground, and there's a lot of synergy between them. And in this, sorry, my throat. In this scenario, you have to be prepared for many things. You have to be prepared for locations, you have to be ready for enemies, and you have to be prepared for not playing cards, and then not getting resources. So you kind of have to be good at everything. And the dwarves, from what I was building to through all my deck tests, and I've done like 4 deck tests of different heroes to get to this point to where I'm actually comfortable and ready to go, and I feel like the deck is good enough, is this dwarf deck. So Dane Ironfoot, pretty simple. He makes all dwarf characters stronger and better at questing and fighting. We have Bifur, which he's in for a very special reason once I get to my lore allies, which we'll get to. And then we have Dwalin, who allows for blue, which allows for threat reduction, which is a big thing in this scenario. Threat can go up incredibly high, incredibly quickly. He will lower that and also let me take some spirit cards, which are good for just preventing the deck, which is actually pretty brutal. There's some pretty cards in the threat deck for this one. So we'll get back to Bifur, but what he basically does, his ability to pay 1 resource from a hero's resource pool to add 1 resource to Bifur's resource pool, allows for me to get my 2-drop lore cards out pretty easy. So why don't we start with them, because that's the big one. And the big one, the big lore guy in this in my deck is this guy, Ganbury Gan. So he has his threat is X, where X is the threat of the active location, which is incredible for this scenario, especially if you can get him out on turn 1, because what happens then is the starting threat of the first location is 7, which is, it's not in play, which is fantastic, you don't have to worry about it. But because it is a threat of 7, and it ignores player card effects, you can't really, it's a big hill to climb. It has a progress of 7, I believe. But this allows you to quest with him at 7 questing power, which is pretty dang incredible. So my point of having Bifur in my opening hand of my heroes is the fact that if I get Ganbury Gan in my hand at the start of the game, I can use Bifur to play Ganbury Gan on turn 1 to begin questing and really get ahead of the game. Not allow it to add up, because he will allow me to push forward very quickly. He does become weaker when there's no active locations, but I feel like his strength is really strong, and he also has an active ability, a travel action. You can discard him to travel to a location while resolving its travel effect. That's not something I did often while I played, and when I did my play testing, and I think that is a little bit of a problem. We have the Craftsman, which dwarves discard gear. There's also a little synergy with Theron's runes, I believe, that yeah, that this guy lets me turn Daeron's rune to a draw 2. This guy is here, the Miner of the Iron Hills, because there's a pretty rough condition in the threat deck called Watchful Eyes that is attached to a hero, and if they're exhausted at the end of the combat phase, you reveal the top card of the threat deck and put it into play. So having him here hopefully will remove that threat from being much too strong, because it is pretty bad. Onto our leadership here. Allies, we have a Longbeard Orc Slayer. This guy is a 2 of, because I only have 1 core set. He will deal orcs. All the enemies are orcs in this one, so he just comes in, pop, 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 deals damage to each of them, makes them a bit easier to kill. He's pretty expensive, but he's in leadership, so getting to 4 is not really a problem. And then we have this card that I tried out and I actually found to be incredibly great. This card is killer, in my opinion. So he has 1 cost, Dwarven Sellsword. He has 2 in all of his stats and 3 health. You have to pay 1 leadership resource each round to keep him. But he's very great. Even if I play him with the intention of him just eating an attack from an enemy, he has a lot of, he's basically just very diverse. It's worst case scenario, he's 1 resource to do better at one of the things you need to do better that round. Either it's questing, attacking, or defending. And because of Dane, if you keep him around, he has 3 questing power each turn. That's pretty dang strong. 3 attack as well if it comes to it, but who knows if it'll come to it. It probably will. There's lots of enemies. In our blue package for our allies, we have Beaufort. I'm using Beaufort not for his 3 cost. I'm using him for his quest action, which is spend 1 spirit resource to put Beaufort into play from your hand, exhausted and committed to a quest. If you quest successfully this phase and Beaufort's still in play, return him to your hand. Pretty strong ability. Allows you to add 3 questing power to a scenario that will push you over the edge. Or in a perfect world, you can put him into play and tie it up. So if you're behind and you have Beaufort in your hand, if you're 3 behind, you can put Beaufort into play. If Dane's untapped, you can then leave Beaufort in play for 1 resource, which is also really dang great. That happened once in my playtesting and it felt nice. Sigil Miner, cheap, he's good enough at everything. And his ability to make resources if needed could be very good. In addition, there's synergy with the, what's his name? Erebor Hammersmith. And then we have Gandalf. Gandalf is, if you look over my events, the first one, sneak attack, Gandalf's there. He's really good, and you can sneak attack him in even better. There might have been an errata on sneak attack. It's been a long time since I played. Is there an errata on sneak attack? Steward of Gondor, very strong attachment. You put it in your purple deck. Hardy Leadership. This gives all attached to a purple hero. Each dwarf character gets +1 hit points, so that adds so much that this card basically put it into play and it counteracts one of the cards in the quest deck, in the threat deck, which is deal 1 damage to each exhausted hero. This is like, no thank you, we're not going to do that. Trying this Dwarven Shield out in my playtesting, it's a bit helpful. Attached to dwarf hero, your control restricted. Attached hero gets +1 defense. After attached hero takes damage from an enemy attack, exhausted to add 1 resource, so that's nice, but it's also because a lot of these enemies have 3 attack. So if I, for example, put it on Dane, he becomes 4 defense, which makes the 3 attack not really a issue as much. Legacy of Durin, put this in after some recent playtesting when I feel like my other attachments. I had Burning Brand in here, but I only put that on Bifur because he's the only one that... He's the one I put on quests, so I decided to take Burning Brand out. Put in Legacy of Durin, 1 to most of the... of our 20 allies, I think we have, 17 of them, 14 of them draw a card when they enter play. Pretty great. Unexpected Courage, very strong. Only a 1 of because I only have 1 core set. We have 2 Ancient Mathams. There's a lot of locations in this threat deck, and I thought, hey, this allows me to draw cards after exploring a location. You can't put it on the first one, which would be ideal because it's already there. So on your first turn, you can play that and then draw 3 cards after, but because it's immune to card effects, you cannot. We have 2 Song of Kings to turn someone else into purple. Because we have a lot of purple cards that are expensive. And then we have a Song of Travel, which the goal is to put on Dane, because what that does then is, because Dane's probably going to have my Steward of Gondor, that allows me to get all my blue cards out really quick as well. Sneak Attack, 2 of Gandalf, mostly. Could also be used with Ironbeard, Longbeard, Orc Slayer. Seems fine. Durin Song, this is a good panic button if I ever need it. Pumps Dwarf's Heroes stats 2/2/2. We have 3 of those. We have 3 Daeron's Runes, draw 2 cards and discard 1 card from your hand. Free card draw? Yes, please. It also allows me to get rid of multiples, so if I have a Ganbury Gan in play, I can get rid of it. I also can just draw 2, discard an attachment, play Hammersmith, get that attachment back, turn Daeron's Rune into a 2 mana, draw 2 cards, put a guy into play. Seems great. He said, hoping it would happen. We have, this is another panic button. Action, exhausted dwarf character plays 2 progress tokens on the active location if it is underground or mountain, which all of these are, I believe. It's 4 tokens instead. I don't think, this is mostly, I think this is, in my playtesting, this didn't come up too often. I thought it was kind of weak, but I have it just in case I need it, and because I couldn't find another 3 of that I felt was good enough. We have cancel shadow effect, cancel when revealed, just to protect our deck from the treacherous effects. I mean, there's one shadow effect in this game, in this deck, that discards the defending character, so that's pretty crazy. So let's see how it goes into the pit. Make sure to watch. Here's the deck list if you want to try it out at home. I might one day try a progression series where I only play with cards available to it, but there's a lot of cards in my collection I've never had a chance to play with, and I said enough is enough. I'm going to actually play with the cards in my collection. So thanks for watching. Enjoy the gameplay. I'll see you guys in a few seconds, but probably over there. Bye. All right. We're going to get this show on the road, and we're going to see what happens. We're going to resolve setup, search the encounter deck for Eastgate and Cave Torch, put Eastgate into play as the active location, have the first player attach Cave Torch. I'm going to attach it to Bifur because he's going to be doing the least in terms of attachments. I don't really have many even restricted attachments to worry about. Set aside Bridge of Chasm Doom in the first hull aside, out of play. Reveal 1 encounter card per player and add it to the staging area. Ooh, we got this right off the bat, the Watchful Eyes. So we're going to put that on Dane because he is going to realistically be doing the least exhausting. So, put a resource on everybody. Let's get the show on the road. Draw a card. All right, we're going to go to planning. And we have pretty much what we're looking for. We have Steward of Gondor in hand. But I think I kind of want to get the show on the road and start making some progress. So, for my first action, I'm going to pay 1 resource from Dwalin's pool to put it in Bifur's pool. And then I'm going to spend 2 resources from Bifur's pool to put Bury Gan into play. Because that is pretty good for getting through this little opening jungle area. So, let's go to the questing phase. We're going to pass through planning. We're going to quest with Bury Gan, Dwalin, and Bifur. We're just going to get them all going on this one. So, let's reveal the top card. Branching Paths, that's going to have +1 threat. I'm just going to use this die to show that. So we have 2 versus 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that means we're going to put 10 progress in total. So we're going to put 3 on the East Gate, 7 on the East Gate, and then 3 is going to carry over onto the objective. After Eastgate leaves play as an explored location, add first hull to the staging area. So we're going to add first hull to the staging area, which has the text, each player must raise their threat by 3 to travel here. So that'll bump us up to 30. We're now in the travel phase, so let's travel to a location. So I can either go to Branching Paths, which has, after Branching Path leaves play, look at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck, and the player must choose one of those to add to the staging area. Okay. I think I'm okay with buying some time. We're going to move to Branching Paths, which gets rid of this. It's just down to 1. We're going to put our threat up to 28. Ready, everybody. Start of the turn. Resources. And then a card. Well, we drew another Bury Gan, which is not exactly what we want to see. So I'm going to just play Steward of Gondor over here on Dane. I don't really know if I want to use the Cave Torch yet. Well, now because we're rich, we're going to play this Dwarven Sellsword. Sorry about the glare on that. I'm going to worry about trying to fix that in the future. But we're going to add this Dwarven Sellsword into our area. And then I think we're just going to sit on everything else and see what happens. Let's go to the questing phase. I'm going to commit with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, yeah. No, yeah, 6. So that puts 2 in here. And then I think I'm going to... We'll light the torch. So the torch is lit. So exhaust cave torch to place up to 3 tokens on a dark location. So we're going to place them on the goblin tunnels. And then after it exhausts, discard the top card of the encounter deck, which you can see here is not an enemy. This camera's not straight. Let me just fix that live. There we go. It's not an enemy, so we're just going to put that in the discard pile, which is over here off camera. So we stay in the travel phase as is. And I think that's okay. We're going to go to end of turn. Our boy Dane is not kneeled, so he will not trigger the Watchful Eyes. We're going to exhaust this to go up to 4. Oh, I suppose I had to pay for this guy at the end of turn, which I will, so we'll only go up to 3, because we would have gotten 3 resources this turn. I'm going to just straighten this camera out, too. See, it looks good when I first do it, but then I try again, and try to do it live, and I notice the mistakes. So I'm just going to adjust this on the fly, but doesn't that look so much better? Okay, well, that's a nice card. I think we're just going to continue to build our dwarf army to make our way through this. I'm going to spend 2 off of Dwalin to put this guy, the Sigil Miner, into play. And I think we're actually okay with that we are right now. I'm not too worried about what's going to happen. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, currently versus 4. We have the Stairs of Nain. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to put 2 progress. 1 will carry over onto this. Branching Paths is explored. We'll look at the top 3 cards. We will put 1 of them into play. We have some orcs, but I think I'm going to just put this Burning Low, which is going to have no effect. Each enemy and location currently staged in area gets +1, +3 if it's a dark location. Because we're done the questing phase. That's not a problem. So now we're in the travel phase. We're going to get out of one of these places. I don't think I put my threat up at the end of the last turn. Let's quickly do that. Actually, during the travel phase, we have a window. During the resolve questing, we have a window. We're going to light the torch on goblin tunnels. We have a little goblin. He's not going to be doing much. He's just going to be staying there for a bit. But that's okay. I actually think I'm all right bumping up our threat a bit to get into the first hall. So we'll do that. Just so we can continue to make our way through here. End of turn, we're going to raise our threat by 1, stand up the gang, get everybody going, and then resources are up to 4, 3, and 1, and we'll draw a card for the turn. That's pretty nice. That's a good draw. We got Durin's Song. Allies can hang out in Party City. Here, I'm going to see if I can fix that live. If I can get rid of that, some of that glare. Let's bring the brightness down. No, I won't do it. For some reason, my normal camera modifier ain't working with this one. So, I think that's the best we can do. Unfortunate, but I'll try to do, I'm going to fix that for the next one. Okay. I will exhaust Steward of Gondor to go up to 6. I suppose I will spend 4 because, oh, sorry, I should be at 5 because I forgot to pay for the spell sword, the cell sword again, which I do want to do. I will spend 4, though, to bring Longbeard Orc Slayer into play, putting 1 damage on this Goblin Scout. Okay, we're going to go to the quest phase. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Currently versus 7. Yeah, I think we're fine with this. An enemy is probably going to show up. So then we have, 9 versus 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3, 5, 7, 8. And we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that means we place 1 progress here. But I'm actually going to, I think beforehand, I am going to use the torch to explore this location. This also triggered off of Goblin Tunnels. It is not an enemy, so this will leave, which is nice. And then we will go to, we'll check the new thing. So that was during the action window before we resolve questing. So now we'll resolve questing. 5, 6 versus 9. So that's 1, 2, 3. We've explored the first hall, so now we put the Bridge of Khazad-dûm into play. Right there. So again, this camera's just not straight. I feel like it might be. It's got to just be shifting on its own. That's it, right? That's the wizardry that's happening here. This is my first episode of recording this, so I'm trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. You know how it is. Okay, so we go to the travel phase. While the Bridge of Khazad-dûm is the active location, players cannot play cards. I think that's just the reality we have to live in to get through there, so we are going to go to the Bridge of Khazad-dûm. Engagement phase, this guy's going to come to us, and he's ready to fight. I don't blame him. We'll go to combat. I think Dane is going to defend against it. No effect on that shadow card, so that's nice. Then we will attack back with 1, 2, 3. His defense is 1, so that will eliminate that goblin. Our threat will not go down because Dwalin is already exhausted from questing, which I should have gone the other way, to be completely honest. I don't know why I'm questing with Dwalin. But that's how the thing about dwarves. This deck, it's pretty much on autopilot through this. I'll pay 1 to keep this guy around, and then everybody will stand, and I will put my threat up. Oh, we did it. We did it. We're going to go back. And a combat phase, reveal the top card. It's a Sigil Mineshaft. During this window, everyone stands up. Let's do this properly. We'll pay for our sword. Threat will go up, and then I have a window. I'm going to raise my threat 5 more times to get rid of this. I'm not too worried about my threat right now. And now we will gain our resources for the turn and draw a card, because we are back to the start of the round. Let's see what we got. Sneak attack would be good if I had Gandalf in play. I'm actually not seeing... I mean, like, my things are pretty good here. But we're not seeing, like, the crazy part of things. So, let's go questing. There's currently 5 in the staging area, and this Goblin Scout is going to come and attack us this turn. So we have 3. 6. 6 currently versus 5. We'll go 8 versus 5. I really want to get rid of the Bridge of Khazad-dûm, considering I actually can't play cards right now. So we're going to go 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. Each player must exhaust a character and discard the top card of their deck. If the pretty cost of the exhausted character is equal to or higher than the remaining hit points, we'll do Longbeard Orc Slayer. Excuse me. We'll discard Darren's Runes, so Longbeard Orc Slayer lives again. Uh, 5 versus 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. So we put 6, so that's 3 and 3, which actually is enough for us to go to the next stage of the adventure. Which happened a bit early, which is unfortunate, but that's what happens when you're just a questing machine like Justin. I kind of sometimes go a little bit too far with my questing. So Goblin Patrol. The skeletons of dwarves and orcs lie undisturbed, but you have discovered no recent sign of the dwarven colony. The sound of scampering feet travels to your ears, and you move in that direction to investigate. There is a patrol of goblins marching in a loose formation through the shadows. When revealed, each player must search the encounter deck and discard pile for one enemy of their choice and add it to the staging area. One choice must be the patrol leader if able, so I actually don't get a choice, so we'll put the patrol leader into play. After forced, after an enemy is revealed from the encounter deck, discard it instead of adding it to the staging area. Okay, well on the plus side, so if there are no enemies in play, immediately advance to the next stage of the scenario. Players can also advance by placing 11 progress on Goblin Patrol. So we're going to go to the travel phase, and we're going to quickly move our way over here. We must exhaust one player to travel there. Never mind, we're going to not travel there. We're going to not and say we did. Okay. Engagement phase. I'm going to choose to optionally engage this guy just to send a message. And then this guy is also going to come. All right. This guy gets the first one. This guy gets the second one. This one's going to go through undefended. No shadow card triggers, so we're going to put it on Dwalin. This guy is going to be defended by Dane, which is a bit unfortunate, but what can you do? Defending player raises their threat by 2. I am totally okay with that happening. Dane is also going to take 1 point of damage. So we'll go up to 39. We're then going to, I mean technically, sorry camera, technically these guys have their shadow cards. We're going to have Dwalin attack this guy. So that'll deal 2 damage to him and kill him. Triggering Dwalin's ability, after Dwalin attacks and destroys an orc enemy, reduce our threat by 2, so we go back down to 37. Okay, end of the combat phase, reveal the top card, add to the staging area. We have a lightless passage. We must exhaust Cave Torch to travel here. So we have 6 in the main area, which is kind of scary. End of turn, we're going to pay 1 for him, stand everybody up, and hopefully let's draw a Gandalf. If we draw a Gandalf, things are going to be great. That's actually also, that's a really good draw. We're going to target Steward of Gondor. And all right, we're going to pay 1 to go to 3 in our purple. And I think we're going to actually, no, we're not. That's bad. That's a bad move. We're just going to spend 2 here and put Miner of the Iron Hills into play, discarding these Watchful Eyes from Dane. So now he can stand a little bit. He can stand on his own. This should be in this order. And then with our remaining 2, is there anything else we want to do, or do we want to? I think we want to keep these. We don't need to keep these greens passive. We can just bring in Erebor Hammersmith. We're going to build an army of dwarves, and we're going to just go crazy. Okay, so we're not going to. He does nothing. We have to defeat this patrol leader, so that's going to be a little bit spicy when the time comes. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7 versus 6. We're going to take the risk. Doom 2, Surge. So Doom's getting a bit high. Then we have Branching Paths. Well, Branching Paths is in there. Each thing in the staging area gets +1 threat. So each dark gets like this and this. I'm going to do the torch. We're going to risk it because we currently have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, I think I'm okay with threat going up by 1. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 versus 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're just going to put our threat up by 1. We are going to travel to we'll travel to Lightless Passage. It is not an enemy. Okay. The patrol leader is going to attack. We're going to defend with Dwarven Sellsword. Add Goblin Swordsman to the staging area. Do I want that to happen? Am I okay with that happening? I think I'm okay with that happening because monsters are easy kills. We're going to attack back. So we need to make 7 attack in total. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see if we can do it. Cancel. Oh, this guy. Oh, no, that. Enemies reveal from the encounter deck. Yeah, that's reveal and add is different. So that's enough to defeat Patrol Leader. Dwalin was in on that, so we're going to lower our threat by 2, which gives us a bit of breathing room, which is pretty nice. We'll go to end of turn. I'll pay 1 for our Sellsword, and let's stand the party up. What an exciting time it is to have a dwarf army. Let's do some resources. Excuse me. Okay. We'll trigger the Steward of Gondor, but keep it as it is. We're going to put Hardy Leadership on Dane. So all of our dwarves have 1 more hit point. Each dwarf character gets +1 hit point. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. All right, we'll go to the questing phase. It currently has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Evil card for the turn is a Goblin Follower who's going to engage us. So we had 11 versus 5. So 4, 6 different, 2 goes on this. Oh, this guy should be discarded. Right, because of the thing. Okay, travel phase. We will travel. We're going to exhaust Longbeard Orc Slayer. This guy will engage us. Give him a shadow card. Dwarven Sellsword is going to defend. No shadow. So Dwarven Sellsword is going to take 1 damage. He has 4 remaining. Oh, he should have taken some damage from what's his nuts. 4, 2, so he's at 3. He has 1 hit point remaining by the rules of the game. Dealing damage is... I just skip. I play so quick, but... foolish mistake. Let's attack. 2, 4, kills this guy. Lower our threat by 2. And a turn, increase the threat by 1. Everybody stands up. We're going to pay 1 for the Sellsword. Draw a card after everybody gains resources. Okay. We'll trigger Steward of Gondor. Just get that pumping. And, oh, we advanced this. There's a lot going on in this game, and also while recording. A way up. Let's do this. You have captured a member of the patrol and pressed the wounded goblin for information about the dwarves. It gives a nasty laugh and with a mouthful of blood spits out, "Balin can be found in the Chamber of Records." It can say no more. The Chamber of Records is on the 7th level of Moria. The way up is treacherous and you're accompanied by a sense of unease and vague dread. So I'm going to put each of these down 1 because we do not collect resources. If you defeat this stage, the players win the game. So I think we just go big, right? An enemy, worst case an enemy shows up, Dane can defend. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Sorry, let's do this again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 versus 2. It's a goblin. So 16 versus 3. So right now we're placing 13 We need to place 16 to win. Well, that's easy. Oh, no, that's not easy. That would be bad. That would be a bad choice. So we have 16 versus 3, so placing 13, and we need to place 17 to win. So we'll just place 4 here, and then 9 on our objective. It's not a race, but we're probably going to win it. All right, travel phase, we won't travel. This guy engages us. He's going to attack. Dane is going to defend it. No effect. No attacks. Everybody stands up. We do not collect resources due to the text on the current scenario card. We're up to 40 threat. And this is probably going to be a win. Definitely going to be a win. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait for him. 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 versus 2. 14 versus 3, 4, 5, 6. So 14 versus 6 is 8. That's more than enough. That will be victory for the Dwarf Deck. We did it. We did it, we did it, we did it. Dwarves are strong. I had a lot of crap in my hand that I didn't even need. Got Ganbury Gan down immediately. We were drawing another Ganbury Gan in a bit. Another Hardy Leadership, which would not do anything. We actually were on the pretty dead side of our deck, apart from our allies. Shows the power of Steward of Gondor, doesn't it? Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm going to be doing the 7th level in a few. I like to take some time to workshop my decks to get them to a point that I really like them. My apologies for the errors. There's a lot going on in this game, and I miss things. I feel like I hopefully did catch everything that should have happened. But thanks for watching. If you notice any glaring rule errors that I did not catch, please let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, and soon we're going to see you with potentially a different deck on the 7th level. So thanks for watching. Have a good one, and as always, GG's.